And welcome back to another episode on the Fox Nation Sports Podcast. Today we will be talking AFC North Division, breaking down each team in the division, talking about their odds, their season win totals, where we think it's going to be an over-under, just give you everything we can, any inside info on these teams. A couple days ago we broke down the AFC East with a guest of ours, Bricks. Thanks for coming on once again. Today we're rolling solo on this podcast today, breaking down AFC North. Let's talk about the AFC North right now. And the first team that is favored to shortest odds to win this division is the Baltimore Ravens. They are plus 145. Cincinnati Bengals are plus 160. Cleveland Browns plus 525. And then Pittsburgh Steelers plus 550. Vegas saying this is a two-man race, and of course we all probably agree on that. It will be between the Ravens and the Bengals. But Ravens do have the slight edge, being the favored by Vegas. Baltimore is a team that has been, for sure last year, and even the years prior, a Super Bowl hopeful team, behind the likes of the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. They just haven't seemed to been able to punch their ticket in those big games. They faltered last year in the playoffs. I still think about that game, how the Baltimore Ravens really had an amazing regular season running the ball. However, I feel it can be their Achilles heel when they get to the playoffs. They get too cute for their own good, and they want to make Lamar Jackson a pocket passer rather, and decide to get away from their bread and butter, which is the run game. I think when they shore up this and make those better coaching decisions come playoff time, it is a team to be reckoned with. But until then, that will be their issue always. It is a team that was projected last year at 10.5 wins on the season, and they hit the over. They hit the over by winning 13 games, so congrats to you over bettors. This year, Vegas has them set. Let's look at the updated lines on this. Ravens again set at 10.5 by Vegas. However, this year Vegas is signaling the juice is on the under 10.5 at minus 135. Shop it around. They're thinking there's going to be perhaps a little regression, and I believe so as well. If you go look at this team in general, on their season win totals outside of last year, they were always going under on the season. In fact, the Ravens have gone under their win total in 3 of the last 4 seasons. Again, last year they went over. Great coach, John Harbaugh, we know that. They definitely make waves during the regular season, falter in the playoffs, but let's break down why this season win total can go under. And I think the number one most important thing behind this team and why Vegas thinks that is they lost their star, well, not star, but their best coordinator, their defensive coordinator in Mike McDaniel. He went to Seattle to be Mike McDonald, I apologize. He left to go be Seattle's coach, and that's going to be a big loss in one off season to succumb to. Usually you need chemistry. The way he coached, it's going to be different now with the new coach. It takes time to mesh. They also lost linebacker Patrick Queen. They lost edge rusher Jadeveon Clowney, and they lost a key player in their safety in Geno Stone in free agency. That's part of the offseason. You have to make decisions, but that's a few big losses right there, and of course alongside their defensive coordinator who did wonders with that unit last year. Let's talk about the positive things. They went out and was able to sign the king, Derrick Henry, for only paying him $9 million guaranteed. And you would think Baltimore, who likes to run, bring in King Henry. What's not to like, right? What's not to love? And I think it is a positive. I don't think they're going to run him to the ground carries-wise like they did in Tennessee. I think there'll be a little bit hybrid there, probably with Keaton Mitchell. That'd be a nice little thunder and lightning there. But expect the King Henry to be there at the goal line and probably not let Lamar take too many carries to get him banged up. They need to go back to the bread and butter, like we said, running the ball now that you have King Henry. But going back, if you go look at their schedule, they have let's see, I think it's the fourth tough. They have the fourth toughest schedule, according to the metrics, depending where you look on websites. But fourth toughest, according to the NFL, on the season. And they have the same win total as last year. They did get to 13. The turnover, the offseason of players that went bye-bye, and the defensive coordinator, more importantly to me, gone to Seattle with the tough schedule. My heart, I don't think I'm going to play it, but going based off those key factors, I think the under will be in play, and Vegas thinks so. The other side of that is John Harbaugh, amazing coach, and Lamar Jackson. Really good in regular season. Of course, as we didn't mention earlier, the NFL MVP. We were happy about that last year because we hit on Lamar Jackson as our NFL MVP. Don't recall the odds off the top of my head, but it was a big play for us that cashed in our futures for clients. But funny that we bring that up. I'm going to go back to it right now. Lamar Jackson. See, this makes me worry. Take a look at this. So I'm going to go to MVPs this year. Okay? So Lamar Jackson, going into this season, futures odd-wise, he is plus 2,000. And he was unanimous. He won. He clearly won the MVP. And this year he's plus 2,000. When we won with him last year, let's check this out. Bear with me. Let's see. I'm trying to find it. Get in there. Lamar Jackson. We hit Lamar Jackson at plus 1,300 last year. You would think the following year he'd be shorter on the odds. However, he's plus 2,000, so that's from plus 1,300 to plus 2,000. He is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's the 10th favorite player on the odds list for MVP. He's behind, I get it, Mahomes, Josh Allen, maybe even CJ Stroud. There's some hype there. Joe Burrow, if he's healthy. Jalen Hurts. But Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, Jared Goff, and even Aaron Rodgers, who's coming off an Achilles injury. They're all, outside of Aaron Rodgers, they're the same odds at 20-1, or plus 2,000. It's telling me something right there. If reading into the lines, I think there's going to be some slight regression with Baltimore. Looking at the odds right there, why Lamar Jackson is even longer compared to last year on the MVP race. It's probably going to be a stay away future bet for me, but because of the Lamar Jackson and John Harbaugh effect. But there is a lot of loss in the offseason from this team, and fourth toughest strength of schedule, which those things do matter. So Ravens for us is going to be a no touch on the season win total. Let's go to the next team on this list, and that's your Cincinnati Bengals. As we mentioned, they are plus 160 to win this division. Bengals. What's the one word or two words that stand out to me when you think Cincinnati Bengals? And that's health. Are they going to be healthy this year? Is Joe Burrow going to be fully recovered? Those are crucial things to look for with this team. The offensive line has upgraded, no doubt about it, but we need to see the health of Joe Burrow. What is the deal going on with Jamar Chase? Is he actually going to hold out? There's been, of course, some articles. You can't take those seriously. That I think it was Chad Ochocinco that said it in a tweet that he's probably willing to hold out throughout the season if need be for his contract dispute. It is a player that should be paid, and if he does not play, that will be a humongous loss, especially When you know you already were trying to trade away your other receiver in T. Higgins with all that drama in the offseason, he is still there, which is important. But they do boast maybe one of the best wide receiver corps in the NFL. So take note of that contract situation with Jamar Chase. And the Bengals are looking for their fourth straight winning season. They have had double-digit win totals in 2 straight seasons. But this is a team, if healthy, they could be knocking on the door of trying to get back to the Super Bowl like they did. I think it was 3 years ago where they lost to the Rams. Health will be key. Defensively, I think they got better. Let's take a look. Let's see. So they got Sheldon Rankings, which was a big free agent acquisition. He came from the Texans. We know him, of course. They did lose DJ Reader. I think that was a big loss there. They did lose one of their better quarterbacks in Awuzie. But they do have DJ Turner the second. But I was really impressed what they did through the offensive line. They did get Trent Brown through free agency. They already have Orlando Brown Jr., and they did use a high draft capital in first-round pick, Armarius Mims. Joe Mixon is gone to Houston. They did get Zach Moss for cheaper from Indianapolis. So we're going to have to see what's the deal there with the running. It's probably looking like a Chase Brown, Zach Moss tandem and 1-2 punch there in Cincinnati. But if Joe Burrow stays healthy, offensive line has upgraded like they have on paper, and they can keep him upright, because that's always been the knock on this Bengals team, is Joe Burrow has been behind a subpar offensive line pretty much through his whole career. This will be key. We know how good Joe Burrow is. If you're thinking Joe Burrow is bouncing back healthy, this could be a team that not shocks, but look out for them. Get them while you can with their short odds as winning the Super Bowl. Let's go look at their Super Bowl future odds. We will see that they are 6, 7, 8, 8th favorite team to win the Super Bowl at plus 1,600, tied with the Bills. Again, health. If you're banking on Joe being healthy and that offensive line picking up the slack, it is a good time to jump in on this team. Their season win total, if we didn't mention earlier, I believe is 10.5. The juice is towards the over. Let's check it out what it is. 10.5 minus 135. Got to look at their schedule. Again, we know what this team can do when healthy. Schedule-wise, let's take a peek. Bengals. You know, they have the 6th easiest schedule in the NFL. Something to look into. We'll have to look at that further on the schedule if we're going to take a chance on this over win total. Definitely not going under here. No chance. Especially a bounce back here with the injuries last year from Cincinnati. But take a look out for them. Could be Joe's time. Third team in this division, who had an amazing season last year, led towards the end by Joe Wacko Flacco. It's the Cleveland Browns at plus 525 to win this division, the NFC North. Cleveland Browns do not have Joe Flacco anymore, so Cleveland fans are probably sad about that. They are putting their trust once again in to Deshaun Watson and Jameis Winston, in case the Watson project goes south once again over there in Cleveland. But an amazing year last year, and this team is led, no doubt, by, if not the best defensive line unit in the NFL, the Cleveland Browns, led by Myles Garrett. They were spectacular last year. They were kept in games. They were winning on the defensive side of the ball and having timely offense by Joe Flacco and crew. Amari Cooper is still there. Unfortunately, Nick Chubb is not going to be ready for the beginning of the season. He is going to miss. We just saw yesterday or 2 days ago, they said he's on the PUP list, so he will miss the first 4 games. that is a thing to monitor. Not sure how good he is or if they're going to ease him in or if he's ever going to be ready this season. So the running backs will be led by Ford Tough, Jerome Ford. If you had him in fantasy as we did last year, he was very serviceable. Still led by one of the better offensive lines in the NFL. The best defensive line in the NFL. This is a team that's set at 8.5 wins. Let's go take a look. 8.5. Vegas has them set at -155. The juice is on the over. Schedule-wise, I believe they have a very tough schedule. They are the third toughest schedule in the NFL. NFL did not do them any favors after their great year last season. You got to go game by game. If you are thinking that you're going to get good QB play from Deshaun Watson, then this play is over for me. Play the over. If you think you're going to get that same erratic Watson, they're never going to turn to Jameis Winston, then that's where you obviously want to consider the under based on their schedule. But if you break down the offensive line and the defensive line of the ball, which are strengths always when you look at teams, that's where the game is won on the lines. They have that going for them. They just need to see if they're going to be able to get some good play from the quarterback position, which is important, obviously. Honestly, if I'm making a play on this, it'll be over, if anything. I'm probably not going to play it, but just based on their defense, keeping them in games. I know the schedule's tough. However, I can't play the under when you have a respectable defense such as them. Let's go to the Pittsburgh Steelers, the fourth team on the list to win this division at plus 550. I'll say it right away right now. Pittsburgh Steelers did not get handed any handouts by the NFL. They have the toughest schedule in the NFL. Their season win total currently is set at 8.5 season wins. Let's check. Right now, the juice is on the under at -150. Look, I think you all know the stat. We've all heard it, and I'm going to have to read it. But the Steelers have gone over their win total in 4 straight seasons and 8 of the last 10. And there's one big reason why, in 2 words. It's his name, Mike Tomlin. You just simply do not bet against this coach. What he's done there with good players and what he's done there with mediocre players, he's obviously one of the better coaches, top 3 coaches in the NFL. Has never had a losing season ever. Pittsburgh went on to 10-7 last year. Definitely surprised many. Overachieved. They took advantage of their schedule. And now the Steelers have finished 500 or better in 20 straight seasons, which is ridiculous. One shy of matching the longest streak in league history, which Dallas set from 1965 to 1985, in case you wanted a fun fact. Look, schedule. We're going to look at, let's talk about the quarterback play. I think you've heard by now. They got 2 quarterbacks there. One was Justin Fields, and one is Russell Wilson, who came from Denver. I don't know what's going on there, what kind of moves those were, but definitely got Russell Wilson for cheap. I think it's a bargain just to take a chance on him. Hey, maybe, just maybe, the top or top 3 coach in the NFL can work wonders with Russell, because Russell will be the starter going into the season. Can Mike Tomlin do what he does best and get the most out of his players? We'll have to see, because the way Russell Wilson looked the last year in Denver and even his maybe prior year in Seattle, he definitely was fizzling out. And if they have to go to Justin Fields, I think you know what you get out of him. A lot of great mobility, but pocket passing and throwing awareness, not his strength. Let's talk about the positives. Actually, one more negative. They did trade Deontay Johnson. I don't like that move. He was a bona fide number 1 receiver, I think, for them, and respectable receiver in the NFL for a number 1 option. That'll be tough. Now they have, I believe, like Allen Robinson as their wide receiver too. Very thin there. Not great depth. That maybe we're going to see a lot of running and a lot of short passes, methodical approach there with Pittsburgh this season. Defensively, though, just like we talked about Cleveland Browns, I think they're going to look good still. I mean, T.J. Watt's there. You got Joey Porter Jr. They got, and I think we mentioned earlier, they got Patrick Queen from Baltimore, who's now in Pittsburgh. So definitely key players still exist in Pittsburgh. That is going to be their strength. They're going to try to do their best to keep games in low scoring and manage that offense and try to sneak out some W's. But very, very tough schedule for the Pittsburgh Steelers. For me, it's going to probably not. It's not going to be a play. I'm not going to go under because I'm not going to go against Tomlin. I'm not that dumb. And, taking the over seems silly too when we talk about who they have at the quarterback position and also having the toughest schedule in the NFL. That'll wrap it up for our divisions. We broke down the Ravens, the Bengals, the Browns, and the Steelers. So they got knocked out 2 divisions. The next one we'll do AFC South and then AFC West, and then we'll work our way into the NFC. NFL is around the corner. It is August 27th. So that brings us, in 2 days, we're going to have a football game on a Thursday, and we're opening it with Baltimore at the defending champs in Arrowhead in Kansas City. So pumped up. Look, guys, if you're interested in our NFL future package, it is on our website, www.fawknationsports.com, FAWK sportsnation.com. We have our Twitter handle, Instagram handle. If you need any questions, shoot us a quick message and we'll get back to you. Our futures package is $24.99. Not too inexpensive an investment, especially how good we have done the last 2 to 3 years in our NFL futures package specifically. Definitely our most lucrative package. I think last year we lost in our weekly plays long package, but we killed it. In fact, bringing up here on a tweet that we did, we made plus 53.51 units in our NFL futures package alone. If you were a $100 unit better, that would have made you $5,300 and 5351 $5,351 just by putting $100 per unit for all the plays we gave out, just sitting on your couch and watching football on Sundays throughout the season. We hit a max play on the 49ers on the over 10.5 season win total. We also hit Lamar Jackson for NFL MVP. Those were definitely our biggest hits. We've claimed the NFL MVP the last 2 seasons in a row. We hit Mahomes for plus 900 in 2022, and then Lamar Jackson, as we mentioned, last year in 2023. 2 years ago, we hit Justin Jefferson for Offensive Player of the Year when he was known, for sure, but definitely shopped around and got good odds and hit him at plus 1,500. So we have been really killing in our NFL futures package. Yes, it's a year-long thing where you have to sit back and wait like an investment, for 4 months or so, but worth it at the end when all the money comes back to you with interest, I guess you say. Better than with interest. So I would consider that. If you're interested, you can go to the website. Let us know if you have any questions. You can pay through Venmo or straight through the website. We will be making the AFC South division shortly. Maybe we'll do a little combo to finish the AFC. Maybe we'll do all 8 teams, AFC South and AFC West, where your defending champion belongs. And that's it. Please leave a 5-star review on the app, wherever you're listening, whether it's Apple Pods or Spotify. Probably going to start uploading these audios or actually do videos on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. But any likes, 5-star review does help us. We do appreciate. And comment if you ever want something else to talk about. But we're breaking down the divisions for now, and then we'll get into the weekly NFL pod. Or if you're for our normal listeners, you know what that's about. But appreciate you all. Have a good day, and we'll see you shortly on the next episode on the Fuck Nation Sports Podcast.